couple of guys, Tom Reddington and Dakota Ebare, talking to them about what they would like to do over. Now, by the way, Tom made the top 30 cut, but he didn't make the top 10 cut. So let's take a look at that footage. That's some interesting stuff. Here we go. All right, I just caught up with Dakota Ebare here in the parking lot. All right, Dakota, they say you either win or you learn.
I definitely learn. I don't know. Then again, it's so tough right now for me with the conditions the way it is. You know, lakes just, you know, it's obviously fishing good, a lot better than I thought I was going to fish. But
talk about that. What were your expectations coming in? What did you think would have made the cut?
Man, I really thought to make the cut, if you had 28 pounds, you'd probably be the top 30, and that's definitely not it.
It may be 32.
Yeah. It could be 4 pounds heavier than that. So, you know, and that's one of the tough things about fishing a place that you're at all the time is that, you know, guys come in from out of town that are thinking outside the box, you know, and they're doing stuff a little bit different. And it being high to them is not really different. They don't really know it either way, you know, so that they're able to go do something a little different and still catch them. Yeah. Whereas I'm so conditioned to do a certain thing at this time of the year that it's tough to change that. Now I did, you know, I changed up and I started fishing some inside grass lines on places that were basically out of water, you know, at this time of the year, you know, under normal conditions. And there was a good inside grass line there, and there was tons of fish there. They were just all bucks for me. I think some other guys were catching some good quality out of the area, but they were just doing something a little different that I wasn't. I mean, my hands are tore up. I've caught so many fish in the past couple of days.
So do you think the guys who are catching the better fish are fishing the same water as you, different presentation, or do you think they're 100 yards inside or outside of you, or what do you think?
Man, I know for a fact that, you know, one of the top guys, he's going to be in the top 10, you know, he's fishing the exact same water as me. And the only thing I know he's doing is throwing a different color crankbait, you know, so. But it's just one of them things, man. Sometimes you get the bite, sometimes you don't. I know I talked to him today on the water, and I had pulled into the spot. I called up yesterday. I called up 4 times in 4 casts, and I left because I kept catching, you know, 2-pounders. They're like all 2, 2, 2, 3, and I wanted to save those for today. And when I left, he pulled in there, and I don't know. I mean, he caught most of his really big bag there yesterday. So it was just a timing deal, I think. You know, I mean, them big ones bit whenever he was there and not whenever I was there.
Do you think you misread something in practice, thinking back?
It's hard to say that because I that stuff I found obviously has produced, you know, some good bags. I think my timing, like I said, was just a little off. And yeah, and I would say that, you know, I guess from what I hear, the drain bite's a little better than what, you know, I was able to catch them in. You know, they're so deep, like the drains are so deep with the deep grass that I didn't adjust to that. So, you know, that's probably something I should have done.
You said inside grass line. So are the fish inside the grass line or are they still up over the grass from what you saw?
The ones I was catching were inside the grass, you know, but I think some of these bigger bags are coming from over the grass or in the ditch.
Yeah.
You know, so you got the ditch and then you got, you know, your grass line, then you got a hard spot. And that's where I was fishing, you know, and that's where I was catching all my fish at.
Did you catch any fish outside the grass?
Spots and stuff like that, you know, like on some big points, stuff like that. But, you know, as far as like inside of a ditch, no.
Yeah.
I didn't. And what's weird is, you know, a lot of these ditches now that are on the lake, like, you know, the past few years that I've fished the lake, you know, you've always got your ditch that doesn't have grass, and then you have a grass line, and then you have an inside grass line. Well, now a lot of these ditches are full of grass, and they're like full of grass all the way to
They grassed over, yeah.
And the ditch is grassed over, so that was different for me. You know, I haven't fished in those type of conditions. So
None of us have.
Yeah, well, that's true. So, you know, it was a, right now I'm just going through all the emotions, but it's definitely always a learning process. Yep. It's always a learning experience, and definitely going to take away a lot from this event after I sit back and think about it a little bit more, you know.
Well, for your rookie event, you've certainly got points. You can still make the cup.
Yeah,
you might even sneak a check out of it.
Yeah, I think so, man. It's going to be really close. So, you know, hopefully I stay in check range, get a check, and we're going to head to Toho.
You ever laid eyes on Toho?
No, I haven't. That's why I'm Troy and I are probably going to be both leaving the next couple of days, and we're going to go down there and pre-fish before it goes off limits next Sunday.
Well, let me give you if you fall out of the boat before you start swimming, just check to see if you can stand up.
No kidding.
Because you can stand up most of that lake.
And they say that it's really low right now.
That's
so
what I heard.
It's actually kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
So we're going to go down there, spend about 5 days on the lake before it goes off limits. I'll have a week off, and I'm going to go to Okeechobee for the coast event there, fish it. And as soon as I'm done there, we'll go back to Toho for the next tour events.
All right, we'll watch for you, man. Thanks.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.
So Troy's talking to me. Troy, you said he's on the phone. He said his boat's not running quite like he thought it should.
My lower unit.
And he said he hit a floater yesterday at the bridge. You can literally see the wood stuck in the nose cone
Yeah, I can't get out at the moment.
of that Torque Master lower unit. We'll let him pull it out when he gets off the phone. Look at that. It is literally wedged in there.
I'm going to take it over to him. See. There goes my check.
All right, so talking to Tom Reddington. He's going to make the cut, we think. I think 31 pounds probably.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring, 30, 31. I mean, some big fish showing up again. This lake is showing out. At least it looks like it on stage, but it's not the fun Rayburn that, at least the way I want to fish it is. Texas, guys, I want to come down and chatterbait, rattle trap. All
Power
that.
fish your butt off, right?
Yeah. And then if it's water's up, I want it 2 feet up, flip the bushes. This is kind of squirrely.
Yeah.
But it's making it fish differently, and it's kind of exposing some fish. I think it's putting in some spots where they probably normally wouldn't be. And the impression I'm getting, I think that's helped me. I mean, I love the grass fish. That's what I grew up doing. I moved before. I mean, that's all we do there. That's what I want to do. The grass seems like it's not as strong. It's been, a lot of places. I came down Thanksgiving, December. I think it's getting weaker. Started getting shorter, falling back. I think it's driving the fish out of the grass some. And you're seeing just the bare spots. It's not like they moved a mile away, but the next high spot, or they get in the middle of the drain, but there's some piece there near that grass. And normally, hey, we find those little drains, right? Or those little grass points, and there'll be 15 spots, and you've got the one maybe this week or next week, it's really hot. Well, it's like right now, all those 15 grass spots, it's like they're all kind of moving out to like one main spot. So it's kind of like, to me, it's like the Tennessee River, like in the spring where you've got all the hot spots, and in summertime, all of a sudden, they just move out to the river channel. So, I mean, they're kind of grouping up right now, and that's why, guys, you hear about once they get on them, I mean, they are crushing them. It's either you get nothing, or you get around them, I mean, you just catch fish after fish after fish. So it's like summertime where, it's the whole area just comes to one spot, and they're fighting over it. And when they get going, look, I had to go to the drop shop to grind some out today just to get the school going. But when they get going, you pull out some big baits, and I mean, they're fighting for it. So
it's odd for the lake to be this clear and this high too.
Yeah, I kept on thinking it's just going to get so blown out. Do I even go above the bridge? Is it worth it? I mean, it's brown, but it's nice stained water. It's not, it's not all like gritty, sandy. I mean, you can fish anywhere, and there's so much water back in the bushes that the first day, it was funny. I fished a good bit behind the Black Forest on day one, and that pattern kind of fizzled. But I'm there looking up from Katy to the bridge by the forest there, and normally this time of year, I mean, a quarter of the field's right there. And there was like nobody. Everybody's up in the bushes trying to fish the back of the pockets. And all of a sudden, like noon, all of a sudden the creek comes on, and everybody just worked out, and they're working the grass, and then the guys are working the open stuff. So like I said, it's the grass is, hopefully get it down quick. The grass bounces back. In some places healthier than others. But that stuff that was kind of weak, short grass before, that was barely hanging on, main lake stuff, it's taking a beating. And those fish, they're just going to one spot. Man, I hope to find about 2 or 3 more of those spots tomorrow.
Are you seeing fish mostly around the high driller, or are you seeing anything around the coontail?
It's mostly the high drill. The coontail, even in pre-practice, it's not as tall, it's more clumpy and stuff. It's that high drill that's in the drains and on some of the main lake points and some of the primary points and stuff going into creeks.
Cool. Well, good luck to you. So, by the way, you got on fork full time.
I used to.
Oh, you don't do that anymore?
Yeah, I don't like that honest living stuff. That's too hard. Those guys, you got to catch fish every single day. A tournament, I just got to do it for 2 days, and if I blank tomorrow, well, I still made the top 30. Guide, you got to. That's always the craziest thing. So, and you guys that have guide buddies know you can catch 3 10-pounders on Monday, 2 10-pounders on Tuesday, and the guy on Wednesday says, "That's an awesome story. How many are we going to catch?" So it's guides. You think tournament pressure is bad? Try to guide every single day when a guy's saved up, especially for his trip of his lifetime. He's like, he wants to catch him. At 10 o'clock, you don't have a bite yet. You want to talk about pressure?
I
That's
guided
pressure.
2 years on Richmond Chambers in the heyday, and trust me, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, so. All right, well, good luck tomorrow. We'll be watching for you. We'll see you on the water.
Okay, so thanks to Tom and Dakota for spending a couple minutes with me there. This coming weekend, we've got the Rattle Trap tournament. It's gonna be cold Sunday, but usually that's a better bite the colder it gets with that Rattle Trap. My best day ever on this lake, and I didn't officially weigh my fish, but it was probably a mid-30 stringer. Was a frigid cold February northeasters, bluebird. The wind was blowing 20, 25 miles an hour. And those fish got on top of that grass sun, and it was a wreck fest. I had just an amazing day. You might see that again this weekend. I would suggest to you, number one, this is a tournament that anybody can win. If somebody will get a 3/4 ounce or even a 1, and I've got 1 ounce rattle traps tied on up there. I'll show you one here in a second. You get out there, actually, let me show you what one of those looks like. So somebody that's got the patience to get out there, dial down to probably 12-pound fluorocarbon, and just creep that big bait or those big baits around out there. Somebody that's not a local hammer could easily win this rattle trap tournament. I know there's already something around 100 boats entered. I know it's also going to be a trailering event, which is nice. So if you're down here or you're just looking for something to do, come down and fish the Rattle Trap tournament with us. It'll be a lot of fun, and I'd love to see and meet everybody there at the weigh-in. I'll be around. Whether we got fish or not, we'll be there. So look forward to seeing everybody back down here. I think that's what I've got for you for a report this week. If I think of something else, I'll tack it on the back side of this. But again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate all the shares. By the way, I am now, I've got an Instagram account that I have not ever posted much on, but I've started posting on my Instagram account. So it's just Ken Smith Fishing. If you look at that, look for that on Instagram, you'll find my Instagram account. And I'm going to start posting more stuff there as well, just for a little quicker updates, because usually it takes me 3 or 4 or 5 days to get my videos up. And I'll buy a new GoPro this week, and I'll get some fishing footage up for you guys next weekend. So once again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you soon. Sarah says the only thing I say more than so is one more thing. So this is going to be the new segment, one more thing.
No, that's not it.
You know, what is it?
Oh, and by the way.
Oh, so this is the, oh, by the way. I heard one time, and I wish I could remember who was talking about it. May have been Johnny Miller, and he was talking about the guys who were most competitive on the PGA Tour. And he said the guys that are really the most competitive guys on the tour are the guys who do the work when nobody's watching. And to that end, 170 guys fished the FLW Tour event on Rayburn last week, and 130 of them didn't get to fish Saturday. They didn't qualify, 140 of them. And I ran in my first spot Saturday morning, and the fog kind of rolled in on me, and I was idling through an area, and I looked over in the fog, and peering out of the fog was this beautiful gray-faced black lab. And usually if you see a pretty gray-faced black lab on the lake, it's riding with Tommy Dickerson. And sure enough, there was Tommy. Those of you who don't know Tommy, I think this is his 2nd year on tour, but he won the Costa event at Fort Gibson late last summer in Oklahoma. And I said, I don't remember his exact words, but I said, "What are you doing out here?" And he basically said, "I'm mad. I'm frustrated. I didn't figure this out. I didn't adjust." And the same thing most of those other 140 guys would have said. The difference is a lot of those guys, like I probably would have, slept in or headed home or headed to Toho. And Tommy, I'm gonna guess Tommy's probably in his 40s or maybe a little bit even older than that. He's not my age yet, but he's burning for it. And so I'm going to predict that Tommy's going to be really competitive this year, because that's the kind of stuff. Well, nobody watching. He had no reason to be out there. He doesn't have a tournament coming up, but there he was. By the way, Stella says hi. Other thing, oops, I zoomed it in. Yikes, that's scary. Sorry about that. Stella says hi. The other thing is, so next weekend there's a big high school tournament going out down there at Rayburn. And there's only going to be a few ramps open. To my knowledge, Castle Boykins, Jackson Hill. I think I heard Shirley Creek's closed. So above the bridge, that's basically it. Jackson Hill and Castle Boykins. Or below the bridge, I know the Harvey Creek ramp is closed, but I also know some guys launched there Saturday. And then Powell Park's open, which is probably a good option for y'all that are going to stay down south, because you can kind of go either way around the peninsula, again, according to the wind direction. Or the public ramp down at the dam. And I'm not going to comment on whether I think it's a good idea to put that many. I mean, there are certainly some boat captains in the high school tournament that are big tournament fishermen, but there's a lot more that aren't, and there's a lot more that don't have the equipment and the boats that those of us that spend a lot of time on Rayburn and Toledo have. So a couple of things. First, be careful. Be really, really careful. When that wind gets up, if you wind up in the water, it's a bad situation. You don't have a lot of time in the water to get yourself out of the water, or hypothermia is going to get you. But what's really concerning me is going under the 147 bridge. I posted on Instagram yesterday a picture of how little clearance I had in calm conditions going under the bridge. And if there's a foot or 3 foot rollers like there were today, it's going to be really tight for power poles. And I know from watching some of these events in the past, not all these guys, not all these high schoolers are going to be in bass boats. Some of them are going to be in, center console style boats, bay boats. And I don't think a lot of those are going to go onto that bridge, especially if there's any chop on the water. So please, please, please be careful. I know a couple of guys are still running under the bridge, but remember, when your boat's up on pad, you're actually higher in the water than you are if you're idling. So I would suggest to you idle and have your hand on the throttle in case you got to pop it in reverse really fast, and make really sure that you got clearance to get under that bridge. So that's all I wanted to say to everybody. And we will see you guys down there next weekend for the Rattle Trap tournament. Thanks so much.
Don't be laughing at me.
They kind of look alike there, Jimmy.
They're all about the same size, aren't they?
They all look a little embarrassed.
Good, man. I got Jim Tuck right here from Longview, who weighed in 23 pounds at 9 ounces yesterday. And you got the total too in here, man.
Well, yeah, pretty much all the same size.
That's a bad problem, isn't it?
And I had more money to get today than yesterday. I had a lot of money yesterday. I had big fish yesterday, not today.
You don't have to talk too much because you're going to get to talk tomorrow is what it looks like to me, man.
That would be fine with me. I'll talk all my routine on.
5 bass limit, Jim Tuck, smoking. 21 pounds and 11 ounces right there. Puts you in the second place, Tuck. 45 pounds, 4 ounces. You better show me off a couple, man. These are good days right here, brother.
Might have to show off.
Well, you are this tournament so far. 2 days worth of it, man. Go ahead around the front of the stage there and then head over to the players, folks. Just couldn't find the one we needed, but 13 pounds and 14 ounces today, Matt Reed. 21st place right now. Probably not fishing tomorrow, but we'll make us some money here, man.
That's a good thing. Matter of fact, let's just put it this way. I stopped on the spot this morning and normally didn't have bacon. I called me a limit for 12 minutes to know I should be paid. And so when we fish, I need every time bacon.
You know, just like everybody said it 1,000 times, you gotta have those big ones on this pond, man. You got to.
I mean, I caught 8 pounder yesterday to save my rear. That's it.
Yeah. Matt Reed.
Show you all this. I've never seen this before. There's the lake. Is that crazy where the lake is right there? I mean, they are all the way up in the pine trees. I mean, I've seen it super shallow, but I have never, ever seen that before. That's crazy.
Terry Boltons out of Benton, Kentucky. He had a pretty good day one. 20 pounds and 10 ounces worth. That may be the biggest bag of fish I've seen in a while, Terry.
Biggest one I've got tomorrow.
See that? Heck yeah. You guys ready? You've heard the rumors. Here's the proof. It's in the pudding. 5 bass limit for Terry Boltons. He's cracking the 50 mark overall.